You've probably heard about the trendy sugar diet by now, people dropping fat while eating candy. Sounds insane, right? Well, it turns out there's real science behind it, centered around a strange little hormone called fibroblast growth factor 21. And, depending on your approach, it could be the key to naturally enhanced results or completely pointless. I'm Jake from Ultimate Formulations. In this video, I'll show you how to leverage this naturally occurring factor for 20% greater fat burning on top of an already ridiculously effective program.
Supplements in space.
FGF-21, or fibroblast growth factor 21, is a hormone made mostly by your liver. It regulates metabolism, especially how your body handles carbs and fats. More interestingly, it's what's known as a mitochondrial uncoupler. Mitochondrial uncoupler sounds fancy, but what does it do? Smart fellas, feel free to correct or explain better in the comments, but basically it means that it's a fat burner that works at the cellular level. FGF-21 tells the fat cell to release its energy without you having to demand that energy release through exercise. If it was in a pill, we'd call it exercise in a pill. In fact, there is such a substance that is a mitochondrial uncoupler, DNP, the most dangerous and effective fat burner. But before you freak out, FGF-21 is the natural version. Your body makes it. It has built-in feedback loops and safeguards. DNP, not so much. In fact, this is the reason so many are seriously injured or deleted using DNP. They keep taking more and more thinking they're not feeling it, like a fat burner, and with its long half-life and lack of tolerance buildup, you can raise your body temp till you cook your brain or end up dead. Now, I have a hot take on DNP that isn't shared by all. I believe that it can be used relatively safely. But first, bodybuilding in general needs to ditch the idea that the only effective dose is near deadly levels. I believe that DNP is linear in its effects. There's no logical science indicating otherwise. Low doses are far less noticeable, but it's not like the substance magically starts working at X dose. Both John Romano and I have run it at 150 milligrams a day, give or take, for an extended period of time. 1/10 the crazy dose, but for much longer than usual. Felt like crap, hot, sweaty, no energy for workouts. But it did the job. It just took longer than the usual Hail Mary hero dose. All of that said, I'm not recommending it. It's not something you should play around with. FGF-21 is the yin to that yang. It does a lot of the same positive things as DNP, but it's incredibly healthy. Reports from the sugar diet are that you feel great, satiated, lots of energy, quite the opposite effects of our nasty yellow frenemy. So, why does the sugar diet not work for some? Carbs can boost the release of FGF-21, and if you're properly sensitive to it, this can trigger major fat loss. But if you're obese or metabolically unhealthy, that sensitivity is shot, just like insulin resistance. FGF-21 resistance is a real thing. You might have plenty of it circulating, but your body's just not listening. So, not everyone is going to see the same amazing results. Think about it. Have you seen an obese person jumping on a candy-heavy diet, sit around and lose 50 pounds? No. It's Mark Bell, a dude that's already jacked and tan and trains for a living. Think of it like this. Race cars use special fuel for higher horsepower, but their engines have special modifications to utilize and handle that special race fuel. Put that race fuel in your clapped-out 93 Geo Metro, and it'll likely make no difference or worse, destroy your engine from the inside. Studies show that obese, metabolically unhealthy folk have plenty of FGF-21 circulating, but they can't use it. FGF-21 resistance, in my thinking, seems to go right along with insulin resistance, i.e., if you are insulin resistant, you are likely also FGF-21 resistant. And just like you can reverse insulin resistance, you can regain FGF-21 sensitivity. How? Keto. Deep, sustained keto dieting improves FGF-21 receptor sensitivity. So, when you do reintroduce carbs, they actually help you burn more fat. This might explain why so many lifters get lean switching back to carbs after weeks of keto. Fasting, carb cycling, and time-restricted eating all likely benefit FGF-21 sensitivity. Basically, if it is getting you more insulin sensitive and metabolically healthy, then FGF-21 sensitivity should rise right along with those efforts. Now, that's great, but it just sounds like normal dieting benefits. How do we get the magic? Okay, so obviously, number one, if you're in poor metabolic health or have just been cruising along eating normally, it's likely that you're going to need a period of ketosis to take full advantage of this fat-burning phenomenon. But contrary to popular belief, you don't have to have high sugar intake to see the benefits of the so-called sugar diet. According to this video by Nick Norwitz and his reference studies, it's actually the low protein component that's the key factor. Who knew? So, what if you could increase insulin sensitivity, sensitize your FGF-21 co-receptors, and have ultra-high FGF-21 output to burn fat all at the same time? And now you can. Just eat 90% fat and 10% protein by calories. Weird, huh? This is how my partner Hannah is currently giving this a try. She's coming from a place of former obesity and a lifetime of fairly standard, normal American eating. I'm coming, on the other hand, from weeks of keto and a 12-day fast, even deeper keto. So I'll be doing it a bit differently. Here's my normal myogenic diet cycle. 2 weeks of keto, 12 days of fasting, 2 weeks of readjustment/deep quiescence, essentially a waiting period, 3-ish weeks of high-calorie growing. Today marks my first day of actual eating, i.e. the beginning of the deep quiescent adjustment phase. During this phase, I usually rehydrate with some carbs and water and go up about 6 or 8 pounds. But I generally neither lose fat or grow muscle. It's kind of a forced stagnance caused by the time in deep ketosis. Honestly, it's frustrating that I can't seem to benefit for these 1, 2, or sometimes even 3-week periods. But now, this should be interesting. I know I can't grow during this period, and I know carbs and fat are protein sparing. To get out of deep quiescence, I need carbs, but to not put myself in a sugar coma by gorging on sugar. So, during this deep quiescent phase, I'll be doing roughly 50% fat, 40% carbs, and only 10% protein. Remember, the low protein is the key to the FGF-21 magic. And I'm not going to grow during this phase anyway, so why not lose another 4+ pounds of fat over the course of 3 weeks while I fill out and get ready to grow? I've already gotten far leaner over this last dietary cycle than expected or planned. I believe this is due to epicatogen use during various portions and in various forms. I look at this little hack, the quote-unquote sugar diet, as a nice addition to what is already working very well. Let's see how it turns out. Bonus section. A 90-10 fat-protein split, as my partner is doing, may offer an alternative to out-and-out fasting or fasting mimicking when it comes to trying my dietary myogenic strategy. I'm grateful that I have a flexible enough schedule to work around energy dips, short-term memory drop-off, etc. that can come along with fasting. Anyone who tells you they have more energy when they're fasting is likely coming from a place of metabolic syndrome. It's not more energy, it's less sugar-induced brain fog due to the ketogenic state. In no way do you actually have more energy when fasting. Not everyone is in a position to do an extended fast while working, let's say, construction. I'm not going up that ladder today, boys. But an extreme high-fat, ultra-low protein, ketogenic diet would 1. Sensitize your body to FGF-21 via its co-receptor optimization. 2. Cause the needed deep quiescent stem cell preparation that we're looking for with fasting. And 3. Still help you lose an impressive amount of fat as long as your total daily calories were at or slightly below maintenance. Then you could follow my lead for the next phase by adding in 40% carbs and reducing the fat to 50% for a couple of weeks. On the next phase, eat high calories, high carbs, and high protein for a few weeks to grow and repeat the process. So just like what I do, but without the fasting and substituted with an ultra-high fat, ultra-low protein keto diet. Just a thought. So, yeah, FGF-21 may be the hidden key to why the sugar diet works for some and flops for others. As always, experiment safely, track your progress, and don't go chasing influencer results without knowing the why behind it. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon with a look into injectable Tutka. If you found this helpful, drop a like or comment below with your own experience, and I'll see you on the next one.